I've got a bunch of people ask me about my video equipment that I've collected over the years, and that is because I've shared a clip on my Blue Sky account. And that got a bunch of people curious about what I got over the years, so I figured I may as well show some of it off. So this is a rack that I got not too long ago, a few months ago, on Tillman, which is a European music store, and they sold this on clearance. I think I paid $50 for it. So we do have some devices in here. Starting off with the most mysterious piece, in my opinion. This is a easy CG character generator. Now, this was a case where it was untested on eBay. Typical late night purchase. As a result, doesn't work. Tried getting it to work for a few hours and it just wouldn't. I guess you could use it as a scan converter from DVI to RGB, but yeah, that's about it. So what we got here is a bit stashed away, admittedly, due to space concerns. This is one of my first purchases that I got many years ago. This is in this case, a rebadge device. This is actually from Panasonic. This is a Blaupunkt DVM 2000. A very basic 2-channel video mixer, production mixer, with some audio editing capabilities, and by that I mean it's got a few phasers, a few digital effects, very basic luma keying, superimposing. Essentially you can theoretically connect a camera to it and insert titles that way. It's got a frame buffer in it, strobe effects. It also has a built-in time-based corrector, which is useful if you have an unstable video source and you want to capture it, essentially. Luckily, it has worked a charm over the years. Still works perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. Down here, we got another mystery device, a Philips teletext data inserter. Now, if you're from the UK or from Germany, you will know about teletext, the outdated information source on your television. You could access like the news, the weather, program informations and all that, This is a device that would let you insert these text pages onto a CVBS or composite signal. However, the problem with that one is, again, this was an untested device without any documentation on it. You can't find anything about it online. I do have cables for it. It interfaces with, I think with Serial. I could get it to connect, but couldn't send anything. I couldn't really send anything. There aren't any commands that I know of. I assume this is part of a series of devices that are required for it. This might be just part of a chain, so essentially worthless, useless, but it looks nice on this rack, in my opinion. Now, what's hidden away here is a bit of a cheap device. Essentially, this isn't anything high-tech. This is a Videonics personal title maker. A very primitive title generator, a character generator. Lets you do very basic titles, scroll text and all that. There is a certain font on there that I really like. Kinda looks like an old test pattern generator, in my opinion. Looks like an old VCR, I guess you could say too. But, that's what was available for hobbyists and, well, not semi-professionals. I think they got other devices that are more capable. And this device is actually from the late 90s, if you can believe it. So right next to it we have a quad processor. Now this is a device that lets you input 4 different video sources and essentially do a quad view on it. Useful if you want to monitor multiple sources, but you don't want to use like 4 monitors for each one. This is something that I got a few years ago when there was somebody close by that bought a television truck, a transmission truck, and wanted to convert it into living space. And as a result, that person sold a bunch of old equipment that was still installed in that transmission truck, and this was just something that I picked up. I was there by train, and I don't have a car, don't have a driver's license, so couldn't really take a lot, unfortunately. There were a few interesting bits and pieces. For instance, there was an Aston character generator, a very sophisticated one, but he didn't have the keyboard, and the main unit in itself weighed like 30 kilos or something. It was very, very heavy, and I was already transporting a CRT, so not a chance. Wouldn't have worked. It's kind of a miracle I actually managed to bring that CRT home to begin with. Stashed over there. I'd have to adjust a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to show it here. Right below we have a multicolor corrector, originally a Sony device, but also rebadged by Bauer Bosch, another German company, just like Blaupunkt. Again, very, very weird. I can't say I really get it, but xenophobia is a thing. Another basic audio adjustment tool. Got a built-in color generator, can generate color bars, can switch video sources, can do very, very basic wipes, manual wipes, that is, adjustments to sharpness, brightness. You can tint the image, which is very nice. You know, very basic black and white faders. You know, just something to adjust a video source. Down here, not sure if you can see it, this is a dB meter. Now, if you're familiar with Techmoan, the British tech YouTuber, you may have seen a video on him doing graphic equalizers, and I think at least, and this is one of those devices that he showed off. There are other companies that do this kind of stuff, like there was one from RTM. That one is very highly sought after, but the problem with that one is it's very expensive, and of course there aren't that many, because, you know, it's professional equipment that is still used to this day. And, you know, it serves its job. It's only, you know, because it looks nice. It's only in there because it looks nice, that's all. Underneath, we have a CD and tape deck. Let me see, which model is it? It's the TXD R11. Got this one at a thrift shop. Very, very cheap. Wasn't tested. And I'm happy to report it works flawlessly. Haven't been able to test the tape yet. I do have some empty tapes, but no pre-recorded ones. So once I have the time, maybe I'll have to fiddle around with that. Might be very interesting. So down here we have a couple of accessories for a Betacam player and recorder that I have. Again, it's stashed away in the corner right now because I just don't have the space to display it here, and I'm a bit terrified that when I install it here that the entire thing might collapse, so I want to be careful here. This is a unit that you attach with, just a moment, with a very basic interface cable, something like this, that lets you adjust the, you know, color levels, chroma levels and all that, so that the playback and the recording looks all nifty. I got this one because I noticed I used my Betacam recorder and player with a video previously on this channel. It looked a little bit washed out here and there, so that prompted me to get this on eBay. And prior to that, I also got this lovely piece of tech. This is just a very, very basic jog wheel. You know, if you want to do like quick edits, if you want to scrub through the footage. Yeah, very, very nice. By the way, it just connects through a headphone cable through 3.5 millimeters. you know, GPI, I guess. I do have some other equipment, of course. This is a, where do I have the, there it is, a Sony DSR PD170p, P stands for pound in this case. A very, very cool camera in my opinion, that's the one that I used in the aforementioned video. 4x3 camcorder that records on mini DV tape or DV cam tape, which in theory is meant to be more durable. You may have noticed there were some glitches here and there, but that's more the camera in itself. It's an old camera. You can't really expect it to work flawlessly nowadays. And that's the lot. Well, except not quite, because I do have some other devices, like right here. Let me get it real quick. So, this right here is a dedicated chroma keyer. Now, I've mentioned with the video mixer right here, it does have luma keying, but that's not the same as chroma keying. Now this one, you have, for instance, a camera, and you have it pointed to a blue box or green box, or green screen or blue screen, and it keys out everything that is blue or black, or blue, it also does black, and yeah, it's very, very nice. When I fiddled around with this one, I combined it with a computer that was outputting a static image, black background, and I essentially used this as a logo inserter, which is very, very nifty. It also does like blurred edges, which is very, very nice. This is definitely a professional piece of tech, and you have a bunch of knobs and buttons in there. Very, very lovely. So for this next one, I'll have to get up for a second. I'll have to get it from right there. It's hidden right there again. Space constraints. Just a moment. So this right here is a device that some of you might be familiar with. More in the negative kind of context. This is actually a Videonics MX1. In this case, it's also a rebadged device. What a surprise. It's infamous for being a piece of trash, but, you know, it does your basic, you know, cuts and all that. It does have some very, very advanced features, very advanced transitions and all that, but that's where the problem lies. They're kind of clunky, the interface is very clunky. If you're doing transitions too fast, it doesn't keep up. It just forgets inputs and all that. It's not well thought out, you know. But you know, it's kind of like with, well, maybe that's an unfair comparison. It's kind of like with Blackmagic nowadays. Blackmagic design. You get very, very cheap and affordable video tech, but at a cost. You know, there's features that don't work. Reliability is not really given, and all that. But, you know, it's affordable. I do have one last piece here. This is a very, very special device because, again, there's essentially nothing about this online. This is a Hama digital graphic designer. And if you're familiar with Hama, you wouldn't really expect it to be like super sophisticated. But you'd be surprised because essentially this is also a logo inserter. I wouldn't really call this a title maker. You can theoretically do titles with it, but you can't edit the text, if that makes sense. It's essentially like paint on a keyboard. You can hook up a mouse to it, because otherwise you can't use it. And hunting down this mouse, holy shit, that was an act. This is a so-called bus mouse from Microsoft, a very, very ancient mouse standard, and this uses a special DIN plug right there in the back, and figuring that out, holy shit, that was an act. This is also interesting because this one lets you essentially digitize an image to, you know, for editing purposes. I fiddled around with it over the years, and it's very cool, I think. Very, very nice. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was actually used as a logo inserter in some, you know, small scale stations, like public access, for instance. Otherwise, I can't really tell you anything about it. It does save on small cartridges, like so. That should tell you how old this is. There we go. It's a bit fiddly. But very, very pleased to have this, even though this was, yet again, a mystery purchase on eBay. I think you see what I'm doing. Well, anyway, that's my equipment rack, more or less. Since people asked, I thought this might be a little bit interesting to show off. So, yeah, if you're interested in seeing any of these in action, maybe let me know, maybe write a comment or something, or send me a message on Blue Sky or Pier via email or something. I don't know, I don't really check the email very often. Well, anyway, that should be it for now. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.